is the ultimate pragmatist, beyond practical. People are disposable, which is how I view life, actually, if you want to know the truth. Cold-hearted approach to things. That's basically who he is. Comes from years and years of experience. But somebody like that has got to want to have a life that requires that. You don't. That's not. This is not a thing. Like, I think I'll kind of take that job. You know. So some people have a purpose-driven life. He's really got a purpose-driven life.
Well, Mitch, you know, the way I always saw Mitch, and it you know, it's an origin story, and so I think, you know, we meet a 25-year-old kid, you know, very full of life, you know, this bright, in love kid on vacation, you know, and I think then it's, you know, it's about being with this guy when he's going through this time in his life that's very difficult, and he's clearly struggling with things, and so stemming from what he went through, and he's lost a lot, and he's isolated himself a lot, and he's suffering from, you know, the effects of this trauma that he went through, and he has a vengeance, and it's all about not knowing how to process what happened to him. You know, he's so angry, and he's never you know, he's taken all the negative routes in terms of handling those things, where he's, you know, he's kind of just now driven to kill, and he wants, you know, and that could spiral out of control. He could get himself killed. He can, you know, he doesn't understand what happened to him, and it's kind of about you watching him sort of go through this this arc of figuring it out, and processing what happened to him, and understanding that it'll be with him forever, you know, and nothing's going to immediately happen that's going to wipe away everything, which is what he wants for so long. And then he understands that it's more about, you know, he has this opportunity to kind of be an asset to the country, and prevent this from happening to anyone else.
Well, I'm odd in this regard. There's a really simple scene where we're sitting outside of the cafe. I just kind of liked what was written, and also I thought, wow, I'm in Rome making a big international movie that was really fun. But I do like, sometimes I prefer, look, I can't say I didn't enjoy the physical scenes, because I do enjoy them. I do like it, because I like how ridiculous it is that I actually could beat one of these stuntmen up. I like the silliness of it. But you're like a big kid. You get to do it. It's fun. I can't admit. But a lot of times I like the smaller scenes. I like the scene, you know, where I speak with my Iranian kind of counterpart. I like the scene with he and I sitting there at the cafe.
Same with Michael. I mean, those are always great moments too, that surprise you a little bit. Like you have a sit down seat with someone, and that can be more entertaining, you know, throughout the day, and fun to do and dive into and experiment with than you know, a fight scene. But I really did enjoy the fight scenes too. All the action stuff I loved, and that's always a good way to spend a day at work too. Makes time go by. You're getting really into it. You know, it's a whole different art too. Working, you know, being physical like that with a camera as well. You know, and I hope, you know, the goal was, you know, the thing that I thought was cool about it, and I hope people think is interesting about it, is it's fresh. You know, it's we haven't necessarily seen that. I think you know, we haven't necessarily seen how any of the action heroes that we know of, you know, where they came from, how they came to be, you know, and I think it's cool to dive into that story, especially one that's completely written with, you know, absolute tragedy. You know, there's something that's really personal about that story, and something that's really realistic about it too, that you find out, you know, when talking to these guys, you know, that a lot of them, funny enough, have come from that same kind of thing in their life too, that has led them to this life, you know. And so I thought that was a really you know, interesting look into these guys in real life, and like where they come from and how they end up there, you know, how they end up fighting for our country.